I'm so happy and privileged to present before you, my dear students, my dear boys and girls, our Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Deependra Kumar Jha.
Good morning, friends. Good morning, my dear students. At the onset, let me congratulate you for this lovely day in your life. Honorable Chancellor of Admas University, my dear colleagues, friends, faculty members, welcome everyone. I wish today you had an opportunity to come here live, face to face, and visit the university. I wish you had an opportunity to see this lush green campus, 120-acre plus campus. I wish you had an opportunity to see the state-of-the-art infrastructure that we had. I wish you had an opportunity to see face to face, each other, your friend circle. I wish you could see and speak to your mentors today face to face. I wish, and this wish list actually goes on, but I think we all know that, this is an unprecedented situation. We all know that the times are trying actually. These are trying times. We know that these are not the times when you would like to go face to face and take a bit of risk because of the government advisories and health concerns. But as you know, that nothing lasts forever. So I think this too shall pass. That's all I can say today. These trying times will also not last forever. Very soon, I'm sure that I will have an opportunity to welcome you all at Admas University. I'm sure, you have heard our Chancellor Sir speaking, and he has welcomed you formally. My colleague, my friend, Dr. Das, who is also Dean Academics of the university, he talked about a lot of great things that you are expected to. But I think I would like to talk something different. As I said, things are changing and nothing lasts forever. Just take a pause and go back maybe 10 years back. If you are an undergraduate student, you would have been in class 1 or 2. And if you are a master's student, still you would have been in school only. So I think if you go to, few years back, 1 decade back, and see that what all things were not there, which currently you take it almost for granted, right? But before we go to that, let me just show you a glimpse of the university. What are the things that you will find here? What are some of the data that you will be confronted with? If you can see the presentation, the slide that in front of you on your screen, you will see, as you know, we are located in the beautiful city of joy, Kolkata, with an increasing student strength. It stands over 4,000 today, with 25%, 1/4 of them residents inside. In our hostels they are staying, and 75% of them are actually have enjoyed as a destination campus. That means they are they are staying just nearby, maybe within walking distance of the university. We have got 9 schools, and I'm sure after I will finish speaking, I think my colleagues are going to give you a thorough a tour of the university. But just to give you a glimpse that what all schools we have: School of Engineering and Technology, School of Life Sciences and Biotechnology, School of Pharmaceutical Technology, School of Business and Economics, School of Law and Justice, School of Media, Communication and Fashion, School of Basic and Applied Sciences, School of Liberal Arts and Culture Studies, and School of Education. These are the 9 schools. I think one of the schools that you have enrolled in. We have 100+ programs in offering, and that include UG, PG, and PhD programs. We have a whopping placement rate of over 93%, and we could actually place on internship almost 100% of our students. Even in these trying times, even in these times when things are not normal, we could actually place our student, we could on internships, everyone. So it's 100% internship. You see, I mean, it's a state university established by act of the state legislature of West Bengal, and which empowers us to award, confer degrees. This is listed under section 22 of the UGC Act. It's a sponsoring society is Sachis Kiran Roy Memorial Trust. And if you see, on the left, there is a beautiful, logo there of QS. That is a testimonial of the fact that we are e-LEED certified institution. Only little over 20 institutions in the country are e-LEED certified, and we are one of them. What does it mean? Of course, we are certified by several other, regulatory bodies like AICTE, UGC, PCI, BCI, NCTE, all those regulatory bodies. But I think this is one something that you will not find normally. This is given by QS, the world-renowned rating and ranking agency, and they have given us for 100% compliance of online teaching learning process. So we are 100% capable of imparting education in digital domain, in digital medium. And one of the testimony, one of the reasons that why we have assembled here today online, I'm able to speak to all of you. But if you, as I said, 10 years back, what were there, and what is that probably you have taken it for granted, but they did not exist. And I have a reason to talk about. Just look at the screen now. Look at the presentation screen. See a decade of change. The change is, just cursorily go through, talk about Uber, Ola kind of, a taxi service. I think they were not there 10 years back. The social media platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Twitter, which all of you are always hooked at, they were not there. Bitcoins, I'm not sure how many of you know this about cryptocurrency. It has no physical existence, but it is the costliest in the international market. Smartphones, from Nokia 1100 to now iPhone 11, and I think iPhone 12 is just on the verge of getting launched. Online payment, no need to carry digital, no need to carry cash, or no need to even sign check. You don't need to even carry cards now. I mean, even phones can actually work as a mode of payment. E-commerce sites, if you see Amazon or say sites like Flipkart, they were not existing. Only I think 2013-14 they entered into Indian market. But last year, Amazon delivered 100% of the serviceable pin codes in India. See driverless cars. Now see, I mean, what kind of job, all those drivers, it's a scary thing that, there won't be drivers in future. All the cars will be, AI enabled, and, it will be, automatic, driving mode. Kindle, the way, I mean, many of you might be, a passionate reader, but I think if you see that, how Kindle has emerged, I think that has revolutionized the publishing industry. And now in a small, machine, you will have a lot of, thousands of books. Yeah. So, virtual and augmented reality. Now we can immerse yourself in an experience which was not, so the gaming experience, for example, many of you might have played Pokemon Go. And I think now see where, the gaming industry has gone. And this is just one of the things that we can do with augmented reality. Sophia, I'm sure that many of you must be knowing about Sophia many years back actually, but within this decade it happened. Sophia is a humanoid robot, and I think many of you would have seen the video of Sophia interacting with journalists. Now I'm not sure how many of you know, Sophia has got a family of 7 members, and they even took part. They are actually citizen of UAE, and they took part in elections. So through artificial intelligence and machine learning approach, they could actually took part in election and probably voted for the best candidate. So look at the future, where it is heading. We have drones now, which is not only being used for say photography or say swing of in agriculture, precision agriculture, but it has got wider use actually. Now it's the delivery man of the future. I'm sure that many of you are aware that already there have been attempts that for pizza delivery and other delivery things. Now genetic engineering, you can actually, there would be lab modified genes, which actually is what does it indicate? That we can actually get the best version of ourselves. We can choose that what kind of son or daughter I would like to have. So I think this is where the world is moving, and it has moved to within a decade. I said it within a decade, but many of these things are so recent. So I think earlier the people used to talk about generation gap, effective generation gap, almost used to be like 15 to 20 years. Now it has come down to less than 3 years. That means just less than 5 years actually. So 3 to 5 years down the line, you will find yourself speaking completely different than what you would be doing it today. So I think this is where the world is moving. And just imagine the world in 2030. Just imagine if you can stretch your imagination to 2040 and probably 2050, and you can just think that where this world is going to be. Why I said 2030, 2040, and 2050? Because once you graduate from this place, you are likely to work for 35 to 40 years of your active life, normally say. You might be even active beyond that. Can you imagine, can you think of a skill set that is going to take you to that level, going to take you or last forever? I'm sure none of you will believe. And so we also don't believe as a university, as an education provider. My colleague actually, Dr. Das, mentioned about university of the future. And that is why I thought of including these things. What does it mean when we say we are university of the future? Because if we equip you for something, of course you are going to get jobs for sure. But I think if we equip only for these jobs, the skill set that is there, or maybe they are projected for next 5 years to 10 years, I think we would be failing in our duty as an institution, as an education provider. So I think a lot of things that we are changing, and we are equipping you with a skill set that is going to teach you an aptitude to learn. If you can learn, if you are a good learner, I think you will learn the things and face the challenges which is there in a store for you. So I think this is what we are going to do for you. But how we do that? Just take a look at our organization philosophy. If you see our governing structure, see the screen, the presentation slide. We have a governing board. I think 2 or 3 members have already welcomed you today. So that's the highest body that governs this university. We have academic council. That's the highest body of academics. So that governs all the academic activity that we have in our university. And then we have a finance committee, because things like this, if we are futuristic, then everything comes at a cost, right? So there is a finance committee. But what is at the core of what we do? It's actually you, students. We are students, we exist because of you. So if you see at the core, it's the student and then faculty members, because they are the ones who are going to shape your future. They are the ones who are going to be your philosopher and guide for the future. They will train you and also equip you with a knowledge that is going to last longer than you would have thought, or the trends would have indicated. So I think faculty and students are at the heart of everything that we do. The next, if you see the layer, indicates that there are certain verticals that we have. That includes R&D, research and development, social responsibility, because all of us, and I think all these, the process owner, as we say, or say directors are going to interact with you over next 2 weeks. I think these are the people who are actually going to, equip you. We follow outcome-based education. We have, we emphasize, focus on internationality, because world is, I mean, as we say that, our graduates should be globally recognized. You should be able to work anywhere in any team in the world, across the world, across the country. So I think internationality is also one of our focus domain areas. Industry connect, because you are going to the industry, and if I'm talking about industry of future, right? Because as you know, everything is actually, IT driven. So everything has, no matter, you don't need to become an engineer or be an engineer or manager or lawyer. Any field you talk, any field you think of, there is an IT intervention. So I think you need to be someone in future and be skilled at something which IT cannot do. Just think, take a pause here. We are equipping you with an skill set that you will be able to perform something which computers cannot do. For everything else, there will be computers, but you need to be good at computers. Well, if you see the next layer, we have quality control, we have career, services, we have evaluation, because everything that you are going to do here at the end, I mean, there will be a legitimate evaluation process, and after which rigorous evaluation process, you are going to get a degree that you all have desired. Then of course administration, facilities. Facility includes medical, hostel, all these, sports facility. You are going to be acquainted with actually in subsequent sessions. So I think all those things come in the next layer. Yeah, and that is all there for you. But I think what is most important here is the last layer. These are the 5 things, 5 governing factors. We call them core values, and we are all bound, we are all governed through these core values, and that includes everyone, right from Honorable Chancellor, me and my colleagues, and you, dear students. And they are innovation. So innovation is extremely important. We need to be innovative. Positivity. Be always positive about what you are up to. Accountability. Something that you are up to, you need to be accountable for. Yeah, and that's a virtue of life actually that you will be leaving here at ADMAS. The next is commitment. Anything that you are doing, because competency level will change. As I said, the generation gap is less than 5 years, so the competency obviously will change. Next 5 years, you will have to acquire a different set of competency level. But what will not change, or what should not change, is your commitment to acquire those competencies. And I think that's where we are going to groom you. That's what we are going to groom you here for. And then last but not the least, respect. Be respectful. Be respectful to your fellow students. I'm not saying, I mean, in literal term respect, but then respect your job, respect your work, respect others, respect your teachers, respect everyone, right? So this is a virtue that you will be acquiring here. And this is our organization philosophy. I think you are going to, find out some of the best practices here anyway, but I'm going to talk here some of the best practices that we have here. And you must know today, the first one and the foremost actually in today's scenario is online blended learning. So I think online blended learning is something, because this is a need of the hour, and even going forward, even when you will have face-to-face opportunity to have face-to-face interactions, still it makes sense to have online, and we call it blended, because blended, it will give you actually asynchronous kind of learning opportunity. Asynchronous means in classroom, even if you come physically to classroom, you will only be talking to you will only be if you are present, then only you will be able to grasp certain things. What if you are not present on that day? for certain exigencies? What if you could not understand something? So you should have an opportunity to actually go through at your leisure time, at your time when you can actually, you are in the mood to go through and understand the basics, understand the principles. So I think for there, I think this asynchronous mode of learning, if we have those video lectures and all those learning materials available for you in a a nice format, I think you would love to actually go back, and then you will actually sharpen your skills, knowledge, and things that you are up to. So that's why it is important. The next thing is minors. Now this is extremely important. My colleagues will actually take both at school as well as university level programs. We will be actually exposed to this concept of minors. But just to give you an overview that why we have introduced, and we are the first university to introduce minors in this part of the world. One of the very few universities in India, and definitely one university, the best university, the first university in India to offer this thing. This concept of minor is you have taken admission for a major, for example, BBA, BTech, BA, or any other program that you have opted for. That's your major. But if you had certain other passions as well, and you wonder that wish I could have actually gone for that course, if you were not very sure, or maybe because of your parental pressure you thought of doing these programs, the major program that you are enrolled, I think here is an opportunity for you. This is a very well crafted a cluster available for you, and you will be able to pursue your passion here. We call it music, microbiology to music. So such is a canvas that we have offered for you. And come here, just pick your interest, and see that if you are interested in, for example, in photography, we have a photography minor. If you are doing say BBA, but you want to do a corporate laws, you will have opportunity to do corporate law. If you are in say legal, say law student, but you would like to do something like computer applications, because you had knack of actually doing coding and coming up with some computer application thing, you can actually do it here. So that is the next best thing that we are here offering at Advanced University. The third thing that I would like to emphasize here is outcome-based education. Outcome-based education system, I will talk actually in next slide that what is the basic philosophy. Of course, again at a school level, there will be detailed program on outcome-based education, and I'm going to talk in the next slide. Because everything that you are up to, there has to be an anticipated outcome. What are you up to actually? So you need to envision the future. If you if you want to become a great engineer in future or great manager, what are the things that you are going to do? So first is like you envision it, and then you do things to achieve it. So I think that's the basic and crux of OBE. The fourth thing that that you will find here is called NPS. NPS is actually Net Promoter Score, and that is like a very well crafted and internationally renowned, recognized system of collecting feedback from, of course, you all students, and then closing the loop that whatever you tell us, we will take it honestly and we'll work on it and then get back to you and close the loop. And the fifth is actually a very I would say we have not gone for trademark, but this is something unique thing that you will find it at Advanced University, and that is called ADMAS Comprehensive Excellence Score, ACE score. So of course it starts with ADMAS, so it's a proprietary thing here, and once you come here you will figure out that what is it. We have actually, so if you are say here enrolled for any program, you are not just to acquire knowledge in that domain. We want you to be a holistic individual. We want you to excel in extra and co-curricular activities. We want you to excel in, we want you to be employable, because you would have heard, and you must be anxious even today, that, with those reports that says that many of the graduates that come out of the institution these days are not employable. So obviously we have worked on that, and you are not going to join that league. That's for sure, because we are going to work on those employability skills, and this comprehensively we will actually come up with a score which will be available to you at end of every semester, and also to your parents, who are the major stakeholder, who would have, you are actually their dreams. So I think they will have this score with them, and then your mentors will be here to discuss and figure out that what is that lacking and where you should be actually focusing on more. So I think these are top 5 pick. In fact, I had tough time actually choosing what could be the best 5 offerings that we have, because I didn't want to bombard here with too many things here. But these 5 things I thought are something that you will be an standout student actually, not just in any other league. If you had joined in any other university, and that ADMUS is, this is what defines ADMUS. As I said, if you see this outcome-based education that I was talking to, it starts with, there are 4 pillars. I mean, one can go actually on and on, but I would like to just give you the 4 pillars of outcome-based education. 1, it starts with a claim that say what you do. Dear friends, dear students, in your life also, I mean, you might be talking too many things, but then say something which you have to actually envision. You have to set targets that this is what I'm up to. And that is called target setting. So everything begins with a target. Even the system that we follow here, we have a target that you all should be employable. We have a target that you all should be a learner, actually, lifelong learner. We as a university, we have a target that all the ADMUS graduates are going to be a lifelong learner, are going to be employable. So I think these are actually target setting. Yeah, you are also, as an individual, you are going to do the same. The next is, when you have said that say what you do, the second thing is do what you say. The second, if you see the second circle, it says do what you say. So you have said it, now you do it. So for example, you have said that, okay, I will do engineering, I will do management, I will do education. Now you start doing it. Then you will say that I will excel, I will have first division, I will have distinction. You start doing it. So every, it boils down to every session actually. So the first thing is say what you do. Now the second is do what you say. It should not be just, for the sake of saying. Now, if you have said and done, now what is the third pillar? It says prove it. If you said and done, then how can you prove it to others? Only by measuring it. So you have to measure. If something is not measurable, nobody will believe that you have done it. That is why you have to prove it. So you have to measure it to prove it. Now you have said, done, and proven that you have done. What is the next thing? Next thing is improve it. Improve it because, you would have achieved something, but then you always strive for the better one, right? You had targeted, value X, you achieved Y. Now there will be a delta. There will be always a difference, X minus Y. And that is, you need to always strive for improvement. So that's called, that's actually completes the outcome-based education system, the circle. And this is what in nutshell I'm telling you, but you will be actually exposed to a lot of other things when you are, when you go to, school level programs, when you go to different other subsequent programs. But this is something we believe in, and in all 3 aspects that, you will be going through. The first is knowledge, the second is skill, and the third is attitude. Everything that you do at ADMUS will fall into either of these categories. So either you are going to acquire knowledge, which is going to be refreshed actually time and again. A skill set, again refreshed time and again, because the newer skill set will come. But the third important thing is attitude. And that attitude should never change. Attitude of learning, attitude of commitment, accountability, those things, passion. I think these things, compassion, should not change. The next slide, if you see, is the 3E focus. Just I thought of mentioning here, we focus on 3 E's, and they are employability, exam pathways, and entrepreneurship. These 3 are the major things that we are going to focus here. Of course, you will have all those things in the periphery, but these are the results. What are you going to do afterwards? After you graduate from here, after the number of year of study that you are going to have it here, what are you going to do next? That is going to be defined by these 3 E concepts. And that is, we are going to make you employable with appropriate skill sets that we are going to impart. And then, so there will be, identification of your potential, bridging the gap, because you would have certain potential, but then corporate requires something else. So that bridging the gap, training, assessment, aptitude, software skills through guest lectures and, so many other things, industry visits, etc. The second thing is exam pathways. If you want to go for, different exams, for example, you want to go for, IAS, IPS kind of, exams and civil service exam, or you want to go for, higher studies, then you would like to go for, TOEFL, IELTS, so many other things. If you want to, go and do a job in job abroad, then you would like to get, foreign language competency here. So I think, the foreign language, ability you will acquire here, all those things fall in exam pathways. And that is governed here through our Center for Professional Studies, which I am sure that you are going to be acquainted with in subsequent days. Then the third thing, extremely important, is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is something that you are not going to be necessarily a job seeker. You can actually create something and probably, give job giver actually, give a job to others. So we are here to actually handhold, both technically and otherwise, you see, suggest, support, and sponsor. These 3 S concept is there inside, embedded in this entrepreneurial venture spirit that you all will be here up to. So I think extremely important, these 3 E concept. And finally, this is the last slide that I am up to, that there are certain expectations. Today, you are joining this coveted and this university, sought after university, advanced university, but then what can you expect from us? You can expect, just go through these 4 pointers. You can expect us to provide a safe, accessible, we are always, accessible and supportive environment. So always, providing a safe, accessible and supportive environment to all. We will communicate with you through all the channels possible effectively. Yeah. Effective means two-way communication included. So you can expect us to do that. We will always respect your needs. And that's, not only the needs that you will spell, but also the needs of the future. That we are always going to be respectful, and then we'll always, work on that. And then, of course, deliver high quality education. That all we actually are here for. Our existence is here for. And you all have chosen, opted for. Now, we also expect you certain things. Extremely important that it's a mutual partnership, as I said. It's a mutual partnership that we both have signed, agreed to embark on this journey. We are all going to together shape your career. But I think this will give us immense pride and satisfaction that we could actually positively impact your career, your life. And that says, please, we expect you to be professional and respectful. As I said, respect is anyway a virtue that all of us are actually bound, governed by or bound to. But I think this is something we would always like you to have. So be respectful, seek advice or help. Do not hesitate. We have different channels we are going to provide to you. And you are going to witness some of those, see some of those things in subsequent days when you will, speak to all our colleagues here, your deans and, other office bearers. So do not hesitate to seek help. Then third, do not forget to give us feedback, because that will be something that we are actually, going to improve on. Unless we hear from you, unless a candid feedback from you, I think we would not be doing, marching ahead with the pace that one would like. Of course, we'll be, moving ahead with the macro trend going around the future. But I think if you give us candid feedback, I think that will help us moving forward always. And let us know that if you have any other specific needs. As I said, there are a number of opportunities, number of things provided to you, and those opportunities you will have. So I think these are certain things that I would like you to have. Things are changing, and I always say that no institution will equip you for something, a skill, knowledge that is going to last 30 or 40 years of your life. So what we are going to do is we are going to equip you with an aptitude of learning. You know, you will actually learn the concept of learning, the art of relearning. And while doing so, you will also have to have unlearning, because sometimes you have some, notion that you always, have in your mind that, this thing is done in a particular way. But remember, dear students, that may not necessarily be the only way to do certain things. So what we are going to do is also unlearn certain things so that you can actually be open and learn something new. So I think this learn, relearn, unlearn, relearn, this thing should continue in entire life. And that's what the message on day one I would like you to give. When you come face to face on campus, I'm sure that, you would be coming, many of you would be coming for the first time, out of your, city or outside your city, or maybe you have been always with your parents. But I think, and you are sometimes tempted, because this freedom actually you should always take it in a responsible way, because I'm sure that you will come maybe after a few months on campus. And sometimes, you are tempted to do certain things which may not give you favorable result, which may not be a desirable thing, which may land you in trouble. So please be aware of those things as well. Never be tempted, never do certain things which can land you in a troublesome situation. So I think when you are here, I think be aware of those things. I'm sure that, my colleagues are going to speak on those things as well, because remember, there are no shortcuts in life. There is no shortcut to success. So just be, keep an eye on the future, and then you are not going to take those shortcuts. I'm sure with that. If you have anything, we have our mentors here, and everyone is available to you actually, right from Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, to everyone, all the faculty members, they are available for you, and you just speak up. Tell us that, this is what you are feeling, and we will talk and sort it out. But I think never fall in any shortcuts or something which will not, you will have to regret, because these are those vulnerable days. So with these things, I think I have said enough, and I actually can't wait to actually, welcome you on campus. And I hope that you all will take care in these trying times, this pandemic. I hope that this goes quickly, and I can see you all fit and fine on campus. Till then, God bless you all. Thank you.